Chapter
NK
481, Good Luck. Inside the wooden cabin, Phong and his group sat around the wooden table, where a mahjong set of 136 bamboo tiles was neatly placed. Each two tiles were stacked together, arranged into 4 blocks forming a well shape, called the wall, each person having 36 tiles. Sister Mon, how do we play? Van Han asked softly. Simple, first roll the dice to start. Lu Waimong explained and dropped 2 wooden dice on the table. Those dice were made by Phong. After rolling the dice, they began opening the wall. This determined the position to draw tiles, counting from the dealer who rolled the dice, going counterclockwise to the point. That was the opening position. The dealer held 14 tiles, the others held 13. And then? Van Han looked at her tiles, confused. Keep drawing and discarding, you can eat, pawn, con, and win. Lu Waimong continued. The dealer discarded the first tile, then turns proceeded with draw, discard, eat, pawn, and con, both open and concealed. Eating meant taking a tile from the previous player to form a straight. For example, if they discarded a 1-1, and you had 2-1 and 3-1, you could eat. Pawn meant using 2 matching tiles in hand with a discarded one. Con was with 3 matching in hand and a 4th discarded, or 4 self-drawn for a concealed con. So Fong's group nodded vaguely and began the first round. 1 stick. Lu Waimong thought and discarded. My turn, draw and discard, 1-1. Lu Wai Thursday muttered, discarding her tile. Seems quite fun. So Phong grinned, drew a 3-1, adding to 2 in his hand, a chance for Kong. Fa. He discarded a useless tile. Van Han, impressive, first time playing and you won. Lu Waimong praised, surprised the girl won on her first try. How did she win already? So Phong wondered, surprised it ended so fast. Winning is simple, there is even a formula. Van Han smiled proudly. What formula? The 3 were stunned, especially Lu Waimong, first time hearing of a formula for winning. I just figured it out, you can remember it as x times triple plus y times straight plus a pair, with x and y possibly 0. Van Han wrote on the table with charcoal. Oh, really true. Lu Waimong exclaimed, amazed to know mahjong winning could be expressed by math. As expected of a top student. So Phong sighed, now understanding the rule. So that's it, clear now. Lu Wai Thursday also nodded, raising a thumb to the girl. The onlookers also commented. So that's considered winning, I finally understand. Simple and clear, truly a genius. I will memorize this, next time I play with mother-in-law I will not fear losing. Trust me, you still cannot beat mother-in-law, do not ask why I know. This brother must have a story. Again. Lu Wai Thursday shuffled the tiles and redealt. Win. So Phong revealed his tiles, 3rd win of the night. So Phong, are you hacking? Lu Waimong pouted, not winning once. Yes, I only won once. Van Han sighed. Cough, just good luck. So Phong smiled. No, So Phong, let us change seats, your spot must be lucky. Lu Waimong urged. Again. She waved. Rumble. More than 100 tiles clattered crisply. Soon the 3 girls stared, as So Phong won again, eyes resentful. Maybe the 3 of you play instead? He scratched his head, embarrassed to win again. So Phong, you have already won 6 times. Lu Waimong glared. Just luck, just luck. He laughed, wondering how to seal the aura of luck, but saw no way. Your luck is too good, 6 consecutive wins. Van Han muttered. The 3 girls glanced at him together, sure he was smug. Enough, let's wash and sleep, it must be near midnight. So Phong sighed. A bit sleepy indeed. Van Han yawned, her clear eyes heavy. Go sleep. Lu Waimong stretched, slim waist dazzling. The 3 girls cleaned up and stood by the door brushing teeth, rain preventing hot baths. Over 10 minutes later, the four lay in sleeping bags. "Good night," Van Han said softly. Rustling came outside the window. Chirp, chirp. Faint sounds drifted in. Time passed slowly, as the stormy night lulled them into sleep. Chapter 482, Caught a Mouse. Van Han's lashes trembled, her breath steady, she was still sound asleep. Chi, a dark head poked in through the window, its nose twitching. A fat mouse sneaked into the wooden house. At first it lingered on the windowsill, then slid down and scurried toward the wooden shelf. Chi, another head appeared at the window, this one larger. Another mouse slipped inside and also went toward the shelf. Both mice climbed up, moving about restlessly, then reached the second tier, near the bamboo cage, seeming to notice something different. The larger one hesitated, but as soon as it tried to enter, the bamboo door snapped shut, trapping one inside while the other remained out. Chi, the trapped mouse struggled wildly, dashing about, banging its head against the cage, trying to escape, but the gaps were too small. Inside his sleeping bag, So Phong frowned, half awake from the sound, but sensing no danger, he soon drifted back to sleep. At dawn, drizzle still fell outside the window, the sky gray and heavy with no sign of stopping. No Lu Wai Thursday's lashes quivered, she slowly opened her eyes. She stretched her body, twisted her waist and neck, letting out a soft groan of relief, then grabbed a comb to tidy her hair. Using flax thread, she tied it into a high ponytail, looking more mature. She moved to the window, propped it wider so the damp air could flow in. "Still raining," she muttered, noticing the wetness everywhere. Turning back, she sat before the ceramic stove, lit dry grass and twigs to reduce the damp air in the cabin. Crackle, the flames flared, sparks bursting with soft crackles. "Better boil water first," she whispered, preparing hot water for when the others woke. She filled the iron pot with water, placed it on the fire, then picked up her toothbrush and towel to wash. After a while, the water boiled fiercely, she poured it into a ceramic jar. Glancing at the bed, her sister and the girl were still asleep, so she refilled the pot and set it again, thinking of breakfast. She paused by the wooden shelf, wondering what to cook. Chi, a sound from the bamboo cage drew her attention. Lu Wai Thursday frowned, looking over, torn inside. Should she check it? She was not sure if a mouse was caught, but the sound just now was real, filling her with both fear and curiosity. Just one look, she decided, walking slowly closer, bending down to peek inside. At once, mouse whiskers appeared in her view. She froze, locking eyes with the mouse for 3 seconds, then screamed, her cry echoing through the cabin. Her legs gave way, she stumbled back, face pale. What happened? So Phong was the first to wake, jumping from his sleeping bag. A mouse. Lu Wai Thursday's face showed panic, her fear obvious. So Phong was stunned, then sighed with relief. He had thought it was danger, but it was only a mouse. No, on the bed, Lu Wai Mong turned over, breathing steady. It's fine, maybe the cage caught one. So Phong reassured her gently. Van Han also breathed easier, hurrying barefoot to Lu Wai Thursday's side. You scared me, are you alright, Sister Thursday? I am fine. Lu Wai Thursday steadied herself, but still dared not go near the cage. That's good. Van Han finally relaxed. So it really caught a mouse. So Phong lifted the cage, shook it gently, the mouse inside squeaked in panic. She clenched her teeth, muttering angrily, annoying creature. Chi, the dizzy mouse only squeaked in fear. You really caught one? Lu Wai Mong finally woke, quickly rushing over. Yes, and a big one, Van Han said, holding the cage. Look at that sly face, clearly no good. Lu Wai Mong said angrily. Ha, So Phong laughed, then noticing Van Han barefoot, softly urged, Van Han, put on your shoes, the floor is cold. Right. She quickly handed the cage to Lu Wai Mong, sat on the bed, and slipped on her shoes. What should we do with it? Lu Wai Mong asked curiously. Lu Wai Thursday sat far on the bed, eyes unfocused, avoiding the cage completely. Seeing her, So Phong murmured, truly frightened to that extent. Leave it for now, we can deal with it after breakfast. Van Han finished putting on shoes, dusted her hands, and set the cage by the stove. All right. Lu Wai Mong stretched, then took her toothbrush and towel to wash. A long while later, Lu Wai Thursday finally got up, but still avoided the cage, not even glancing at it. During breakfast, Van Han asked curiously, Sister Thursday, you won't have nightmares tonight, will you? Hopefully not. Lu Wai Thursday replied uncertainly. Chapter 483, Building a New Toilet. I just thought of a good idea, we should tie it to a rope and drop it into the water to swim. Louis Meng quickly suggested. Do mice know how to swim? Yun Han tilted her head and asked softly. Well, maybe not. Louis Meng thought and spoke. Mice can swim, not only that, they are masters at it. Su Feng calmly explained. A mouse swims by kicking its hind legs, steering with the front ones, its tail works like a rudder, it has amazing stamina, and it can even dive underwater for 3 minutes. That is no good, too much of a favor for it. Yun Han shook her head. We are having breakfast, let us finish eating before we continue. Su Feng said gently. He glanced at Louis Thursday, seeing she ate without taste, chewing a piece of hedgehog meat for over 5 minutes. All right. Yun Han stuck out her tongue shyly, then buried her head eating meat. Yun Han held a military knife, raised the bamboo cage and threatened, Now it is your turn to confess honestly, do you have more companions? Yes, confess and be forgiven, resist and be punished. Lu Yimeng added. Su Feng smiled quietly, the two girls acted it out vividly. Louis Thursday turned away silently, uninterested in interrogating a mouse. You can wear a wide brim hat and go breathe some fresh air in the yard. Su Feng said tenderly. Okay. Louis Thursday nodded, put on the hat and pushed the wooden door, walking downstairs to stroll in the drizzle. Whew. She exhaled softly, her body calmed, then she returned under the cabin, feeding hay to the rabbit and the fawn. The fawn had grown much larger, bigger than when first caught, and it did not avoid her, instead came to demand hay. After more than half an hour, a soft girl's voice came from above the cabin. Yun Han poked her head out of the window and called, Missing one. Coming. Louis Thursday paused, her hands itched to play mahjong, so she threw down the hay for the fawn and hurried upstairs. She pushed open the door, glanced around, and asked suspiciously, Where is the mouse? Hee, Sister Thursday, come in, the mouse has been dealt with. Yun Han laughed and pulled her in. Dealt with? How so? Louis Thursday asked curiously. Su Feng covered it with cement and threw it into the forest. Yun Han pointed outside the window to the distant woods. That is good. Louis Thursday finally relaxed and sat down. Sister, look what I have here. Louis Meng said mysteriously. Nothing at all. Louis Meng laughed and opened her empty hands. Louis Thursday twitched her lips angrily. You are asking for trouble. Ahem, let us play mahjong. Louis Meng coughed and changed the topic. She quickly arranged the bamboo tiles and began the pastime. Time passed, by early afternoon the four were still playing mahjong, full of energy. No win again. Louis Meng said helplessly. Looks like today luck is on your side. Su Feng said warmly. He had deliberately broken good tiles several times to keep the fun for the three girls, otherwise one person winning all the time would be boring. Hee, I am the goddess of luck. Yun Han beamed, having just won her fourth round. I must win one hand today. Louis Meng smiled and pushed the tiles to reshuffle. Can I win at least one? Louis Thursday sighed, from yesterday until now she had not won once. Ha, you will get a chance. Su Feng laughed. Ouch. Louis Meng suddenly blushed and cried out. Sister Meng, what is wrong? Yun Han tilted her head doubtfully. I have been holding it in too long. Louis Meng bit her lip. Did you wet yourself? Louis Thursday frowned and patted her sister's bottom. No. Louis Meng shook and shouted angrily, Stop or I cannot hold it. Really? Louis Thursday pressed her lips, reaching out to pat again. Sister, you are just taking revenge. Louis Meng dodged, grabbed a jacket, and ran downstairs. Who told you to scare me? Louis Thursday lowered her hand and chuckled. Su Feng smiled, stood up and stretched, ready to build the toilet. Su Feng, can I help? Louis Thursday asked softly. Make some more concrete, we need a lot. Su Feng replied. Okay. Louis Thursday turned to work. Su Feng took the military knife, spent nearly an hour hollowing a log. Wearing the white hat, he went to the storehouse, chose a thick bamboo, and carried it back. He carefully prepared the bamboo, spent over half an hour clearing the nodes. Then he measured the rope, cut a bamboo pipe 3 meters long, equal to the cabin height. He set the bamboo into a hole on the floor, pressed it firmly into the ground, leaving a third above. He took a shovel, went below the cabin, checked the bamboo, and pushed it. Next, he dug a hole 1 meter deep under the cabin and lowered the bamboo further. Yun Han, how much bamboo is left above the floor? He shouted. Just level with the floor. Yun Han answered from the window. Chapter 484, Garbage Pit. That is not much different. So Phong dusted off his hands and kept digging with the engineer shovel. He cleaned around the bamboo pipe, dug a pit 1 meter wide and 2 meters long, preparing for the garbage pit. So Phong, you need the cement finished. From upstairs came the voice of Louis Thursday. Got it. So Phong answered casually, carrying the shovel upstairs. For now it is enough. He smiled, squatted by the bamboo pipe, spread cement around with a woodblock, patched the floor and fixed the pipe firmly. So Phong, are you arranging a waste pipe? Lu Waimong asked curiously. Exactly. He nodded, then used charcoal to draw a square on the ground, each side 1.5 meters, the size of the toilet to build. Do you want a squat toilet or a flush toilet? He asked. A squat toilet, a flush one is troublesome. Van Han replied innocently, she had never used one before. Yes, squat is better, a flush is not always convenient. Lu Waimong said shyly. I agree. Lu Wai Thursday nodded. Squatting made relieving easier, the body has a muscle called pub erectilis, like a loop pulling the rectum forward, forming an angle. Sitting pulls the rectum tight, making it harder, while squatting is easier. No problem, squat is best. So Phong made an okay gesture. I need to move some wood. He stood up. The toilet is not done yet. He joked, then put on his hat, went downstairs and carried wood up. They spent half an hour moving enough wood. With the 3 girls' help, in 2 hours So Phong built 2 wooden walls and a big door. Finally done. Lu Waimong sighed. He opened the toilet door, worried. The garbage pit is not ready, that is the most important. Garbage pit? How to make it? Van Han asked. Leave it to me, you mix more cement and bring more stones. He said. Stones, leave to me. Lu Waimong rolled sleeves. I will handle cement. Lu Wai Thursday said. Then what about me? Van Han blinked. You help with cement. So Phong patted her head, heavy lifting was not for her. She blushed and nodded, going to her work. So Phong and Lu Waimong carried baskets, went down to collect stones. Time passed, it was about 3 in the afternoon. In the storehouse lay many stones, enough for the pit. Beside were 2 jars of mixed cement. Time to keep working. So Phong stretched and jumped into the pit. Waimong, pass me stones. Yes. She nodded. Here, cement. Van Han handed a jar. They worked together, so Phong built stone walls, filled gaps with cement, preventing water seepage. Half the bamboo pipe was buried, only the mouth showed. He planned 3 compartments, spent another hour building walls, dividing the pit into 3, like the Chinese word for eye. At one end he buried a pipe for passage, at the lowest point 10 centimeters from the ground another pipe for wastewater exit. Almost done, only covers missing. He climbed out of the pit. He cut bamboo, made 3 square frames, added smaller frames 10 centimeters wide. He laid banana leaves, set frames, poured cement into the gap until full. Thus he had 3 covers to seal the pit. So Phong, what are those small frames for? Van Han asked. That is a waste outlet, when full it can be opened to clean. He replied. NK Books. He filled the small frame with banana leaves and cement to form a lid. I see. Van Han nodded, then turned to the wooden house. I will prepare dinner. Now the sky was dark, rain kept falling, only 2 torches lit. Good, we are done, just let the cement dry. So Phong dusted hands, left the storehouse and went upstairs. Chapter 485, Natural Magnet. Just awake, so Phong yawned, stretched inside the wooden house, then gently pushed the door open, walked down the stairs toward the warehouse. He stopped before the waste pit, squatted down to check the cement wall. Finally dry. So Phong murmured, today was the 3rd day since finishing the pit, because of rain the cement only now had dried. He jumped into the pit, carefully checked each wall, made sure no cracks, then climbed back up. He turned to fetch a dry cover, placed it on the pit, then used concrete to seal the cover and pit together, leaving only the waste outlet movable. So Phong, morning. Lu Waimong yawned, walking down the stairs, tired leaning on a pillar. You can sleep more, still early. So Phong smiled, last night the 4 of them played mahjong until late. No, today finally no rain, must go out. Lu Waimong waved, her nature never allowed idleness. She wandered the yard, fed the rabbit and fawn with hay, then crossed the bridge to check the crops. He looked at the downstream stream, then used his shovel to draw a line from the source to outside the fence, so wastewater would flow there and not affect daily water. Swish swish. After drawing, So Phong dug along the line, deeper near downstream, making sure lower than pit outlet. Inside, Van Han yawned, leaned on the window, watching busy So Phong with a smile. A new day began. She turned to prepare breakfast with an iron pot, could not let him work hungry. Lu Wai Thursday also woke, washed then came down, softly asked, So Phong, need help? If it is cutting bamboo to make pipes, I can. Lu Wai Thursday looked at the trench. Good, need 4 bamboo pipes, thanks. So Phong replied. Okay. She rolled up sleeves, went to pick bamboo. He continued digging, after more than 10 minutes he stopped. Why feels heavier? He muttered. Using the shovel to probe, though not touching ground, he felt weight, like a pull. Something under there? He poked down, but the blade was blocked. Curious, he cleared the mud, soon revealing a black stone, the size of a small melon. A natural magnet, formed by the Earth's field, like ferrite ore. Seems no use now. He placed it in the store, then continued digging. After half an hour, for bamboo pipes ready, trench also done. He carved ends, joined them, put in trench, one end to pit outlet, sealed with cement. So Phong, sisters, breakfast ready. Van Han opened the wooden door, called from the stairs, holding a wooden spoon. Okay, coming. So Phong waved. Hurry. Van Han smiled and went back inside. Soon, So Phong and the 2 sisters washed and joined, eating from big bowls. Van Han, how much hedgehog meat left? He asked, chewing a piece. Less than 1 day left. She answered softly. Go to forest again? She paused, looked at him. This time you come to, not forest, but other side of stream. He gently said, giving her meat with chopsticks. That side forest had leopards, and after rain the mountain road was hard, but across the stream was easier, with hibiscus and pine. Yes, good. Her eyes shone, lips curved, accepted the meat. Me too. Lu Waimong raised hand quickly. Then we all go. He smiled. Joy shone in Lu Wai Thursday's eyes. After breakfast, Van Han packed, the sisters washed dishes. So Phong went down, cleared trench, buried the bamboo pipes. So Phong, ready to go. Lu Waimong brought the goat horn bow, handed him. Let's go. He smiled, carried the bow, naturally held the girl's hand, stepped over the wooden bridge, pushed the door out. The girl smiled sweetly, heart full of honey, steps light. Chapter 486, The Walking Encyclopedia. Lu Waimong turned back to lock the main gate, preventing the deer and rabbits from escaping. This way. So Phong chose the direction, circling past a thick hibiscus bush to the back, where there was a grove of elm pines. There are so many wild greens here. Lu Wai Thursday said in surprise, it was her first time behind the hibiscus. The leaves are tender, we can dig some later to bring back. Van Han said happily. Yes, better not eat mixed greens outside, tonight I will make them. Van Han held So Fong's hand and smiled brightly. I wonder if there are stinklet plants here, I want bean cakes. Lu Waimong pursed her lips. Mentioning bean cakes reminded her of the time she first met them, when a girl came with a clay jar and green bean cakes. That was when she learned bean cakes could be green. We can search, if not we bring seedlings from the old camp to plant. So Phong smiled. The old camp still had stinklet plants, untouched by floods, they should still exist. Yes, we will return to check. Lu Waimong nodded. The four entered the elm pine grove, green leaves hung thickly, even winter snow could not harm them. Wow! Van Han widened her eyes, beyond the pines lay low bushes covered with vines. These are wild grapes. So Phong admired, instantly recognizing the vines, this was a deserted vineyard. All grapevines? Lu Waimong asked in shock, seeing that all vines were the same, if so the hills would be filled with grapes. Yes, grapevines, but will the grapes be sweet? So Phong sighed. He thought, if they had found this place earlier, they could have eaten grapes long ago, now they must wait a long time unless they used plant serum. The thought stirred him, he squatted to dig a few vines, trimmed them and placed them in the bamboo basket, to plant near the wooden house. Wait for the fruits to come. Van Han said softly. NK books. Yes, let's move on, nothing else here. So Phong led them past the vineyard, heading deeper. A pity, if only earlier. Lu Wai Thursday sighed and followed. Creak. Lu Waimong curiously walked ahead, tapping bushes with a branch to drive snakes away. Ah, mushrooms here. She spotted small white mushrooms near a fallen log. She reached to pluck them. White mushrooms? So Phong looked, frowned, then changed expression. He grabbed her quickly. Don't move, those are deadly white death caps. Deadly death caps? Lu Waimong recoiled, the name alone was enough. So Phong, what are death caps? Van Han asked. These mushrooms contain amatoxin and phallotoxin, fatally damaging liver, kidneys, blood vessels, and nerves, causing organ failure and death. So scary. Lu Waimong turned pale. Sister said bright colors mean poison, I thought white mushrooms safe, who knew worse? That rule is mostly true, but exceptions exist, like death caps, destroying angels, and more, all forbidden. So Phong said quietly. Any mushroom called death or destroyer was obviously unsafe. You know biology more than me. Lu Wai Thursday bit her lip. Just from watching animals. So Phong lied calmly. Lu Wai Thursday fell silent, thinking if only animals taught more than college. Enough, never pick mushrooms blindly, it could kill. So Phong warned. He, got it. Lu Waimong laughed, glancing at the deadly mushrooms, resisting the urge to crush them, then followed. In the observation room, Ha Min's team watched live. Teacher Vaughn, are death caps that terrible? No Tin Noyet tilted her head. Yes, many die from them each year. Vong Lam nodded gravely. So white and pure, yet lethal, lucky I never saw them on Huin Noyet Island. No Tin Noyet patted her chest. Yes, many contestants eliminated because they ate poisonous mushrooms. Hum inside, recalling more than 10 groups failed so. Watching So Phong teaches us much. No Tin Noyet said sincerely. The title Walking Encyclopedia was earned. Ha Min joked. Walking Encyclopedia was the nickname viewers gave So Phong. Chapter 487, Monkeys. After the rain, the mountain path turned muddy, every step dirted the shoes. So Phong, did you find anything? Lu Waimong glanced around and asked casually, since leaving the vineyard they had walked over half an hour, along the way only trees and weeds were seen. Nothing major, but many traces of small animals. So Phong smiled, in the mud were prints of wild chicken, rabbit, and rat. I thought so. He sighed, if they caught a wild boar, they would not need to hunt for days and could do other tasks. So Phong, what animal left these prints? Van Han pulled his sleeve, pointing at tracks under a tree. What? He bent down to look. These are monkey tracks. He was surprised, the footprints looked human-like but different, and he did not expect monkeys on Huin Noyet Island. Monkeys? Where? Lu Waimong's eyes lit up, she searched eagerly. This way, let's check. So Phong judged direction from marks on trees and led them. The vines grew thicker, he swung his blade to clear a path. After 20 minutes they reached a valley filled with towering trees, strange sounds echoed above. Chit chit. Branches shook, monkeys hung, and stared curiously. Monkeys, real monkeys. Lu Waimong's eyes sparkled, first time seeing them in the wild. Will they steal our things? Van Han hugged her basket, recalling TV reports of monkeys snatching items in parks. Possible. Lu Wai Thursday frowned, also clutching her basket, she had once experienced it. Before her mother fell ill, she had taken them traveling, and a monkey had stolen her bag. Relax, those were tourist monkeys used to people, these are wild and will not dare. So Phong chuckled. Better safe than sorry. Lu Wai Thursday shook her head, remembering her lost bag. Chit chit chit. The monkeys leaped between trees, screeching. They seem afraid of us. Van Han whispered, stepping back. They are claiming territory, this is their land. So Phong lowered his gaze to the ground. There were cracked nutshells, droppings, and urine, the smell was unpleasant. Shall we explore? Lu Waimong tilted her head. So Phong, can monkeys be eaten? Van Han asked curiously. Yes, especially monkey brains, many rich people like it, but those who dare often have backing. He glanced at the drone above. Then shall we hunt them? Lu Waimong grimaced. Would you dare eat them? So Phong asked amusedly. No, thinking humans evolved from monkeys makes me lose appetite. She shook her head, resisting. Are you sure humans evolved from monkeys? Lu Wai Thursday sneered. Not so? Lu Waimong blinked. Sci-fi movies always say so. Of course not, or at least unlikely. Lu Wai Thursday scolded, thinking her sister never studied. Sister Mong, humans likely evolved from ancient apes. Van Han giggled. Ancient apes were human ancestors, close relatives. Monkeys and apes differ? Lu Waimong asked dumbly. People often confuse them, but apes lack tails, cheek pouches, and red bottoms, including chimpanzees and gibbons, while monkeys are species like golden monkeys. I learned something new. She nodded. Let's leave. So Phong smiled, glanced once more at the monkeys, then led the girls away. Though curious, now was not the time. We have been out half a day and caught nothing. Van Han pouted, today was for hunting not strolling. Am I slowing you down? She asked. NK books. No, without you who would cook? So Phong said sternly. True. She laughed and nodded. This way, circle around and return. So Phong patted her head, set direction back. He chose another path. As long as the direction was right, they would not get lost. Little rabbit, open the door a bit. Lu Waimong hummed, hoping to find a rabbit burrow. Even if there is, you would scare it away. Lu Wai Thursday said coldly. Russell, what sound is that? Chapter 488, Little Panda. Little Panda. So Phong quickly realized what the small creature before him was. So cute. Van Han's eyes sparkled, captivated by the clumsy adorable look of the little panda. The little panda, also known as the red panda, resembles a cat but is bigger and plumper, with reddish-brown fur and a round face with white markings. Though its name contains panda, its appearance differs greatly. Its limbs are short and dark brown, its tail long and thick with fluffy fur, patterned with 12 dark red rings. So Phong, quickly catch it, do not let it run, we can eat it for dinner. Lu Waimong's eyes gleamed as she spoke. Cough, this one cannot be eaten. So Phong coughed lightly and said with a twitch of his lips. Why not? Lu Waimong asked blankly. Because the little panda is a national level 2 protected animal. So Phong explained calmly. Ah, what a pity. Lu Waimong looked disappointed, having thought it would be prey, but it turned out to be protected. Lu Wai Thursday glanced at her sister, thinking how could she want to eat such a cute animal? Why does it not run away? Van Han asked in surprise, tugging at So Fong's hand. Normally an adult little panda is 40 to 63 centimeters long, with a tail more than half its body length, weighing about 5 kilograms. This one was only 20 centimeters long, about the size of a house cat, clearly just a cub. It stepped back but did not flee, letting So Phong easily pick it up into his arms. He plucked a tender leaf and held it out. Crunch crunch. The little panda eagerly chewed the leaf. Wow, so cute, it is not even afraid of So Phong. Van Han exclaimed, carefully reaching to touch its head. The little panda did not resist, even pawed playfully at her fingers. It then hit its head in So Fong's chest. So cute, shall we keep it? Van Han asked dreamily, her lashes trembling. We can, since we will not eat it. Lu Waimong said eagerly, also liking the animal. First let us look around for its parents, if not then we will bring it back. So Phong decided. Okay. The three girls nodded. This way. Carrying the panda, So Phong carefully observed tracks as he moved through the thicket. The shrubs grew denser, and a faint smell of blood drifted, his keen nose detecting it. He frowned and continued on. After several minutes, a small mound appeared, the source of the blood scent. What happened here? Van Han asked softly, noticing tufts of blood-stained fur like the panda's, though the cub was unharmed. So whose was it? A leopard came. So Phong said seriously, pointing at blood and paw prints of both leopard and panda. It is possible the parents were eaten. So Phong sighed, hugging the cub tighter. Predators of little pandas include martens, leopards, and clouded leopards. With their speed and climbing skill, leopards give no chance. Poor little one, losing its mother so young. Lu Waimong said sadly. Van Han pressed her lips, her face dim. Lu Waimong. Lu Wai Thursday frowned and signaled her sister to stop. Lu Waimong closed her mouth, glancing apologetically at the girl. Here, hold it. So Phong smiled, handing the cub to her. So cute, So Phong, let us raise it. Van Han beamed, hugging it tight. We can, but you must take responsibility. So Phong said sternly. Yes, I promise to complete the mission. Van Han grinned, saluting playfully. Good, let us return. So Phong smiled, turning away. So Phong, what does it eat? Only leaves. Van Han asked curiously. It is omnivorous, eating wild fruits, leaves, moss, even small animals, but it prefers bamboo shoots and leaves. So Phong explained. It eats insects, birds, eggs, and especially likes sweet foods. I know now. Van Han nodded, teasing the cub with her finger. In the monitoring room, Min and others watched the scene. Wow, so cute. No Tin Noyet's dark eyes sparkled with affection. Yes, very cute. Min agreed with a smile. Teacher will raising it cause trouble? No Tin Noyet asked with concern, as it was protected. During the one-year contest there is no issue, but if they ate it, the organizers and authorities would intervene. Min explained. He also clarified for viewers that the program could not harm protected animals. This also serves as protection for the cub. Vong Lam said calmly. What happens to it if So Phong leaves the island? No Tin Noyet asked, resting her chin on her hand. It will likely be sent to a zoo or a reserve. Min replied uncertainly. Tai Din pressed his lips, deep in thought. Chapter 489, Mao Dan? Oh, so dangerous. Su Feng froze for a moment, then remembered that there was still Godan at home. It kept running outside, hard to forget. Then what now, will Godan be treated like a snack and eaten? Yunhan looked down at the quiet little panda in her arms and asked. First lock the little panda, let them get used to each other, then release. Su Feng thought for a while and said, later after taming the little panda, letting them meet would not be a problem. That is the only way. Yunhan nodded in agreement. Give the little panda a name, NK what would be good? Louis Meng said with excitement. Let me think. Yunhan frowned slightly, starting a brainstorm. Is the little panda male or female? Louis Zhu asked softly. Let me check. Su Feng lifted its fluffy tail, glanced and whispered, female. Female, then call it Mao Dan? Louis Meng suddenly had an idea. The squirrel is Godan, the panda is Mao Dan, perfect match. Ha 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 ha. Su Feng could not help but laugh. Ah, Mao Qiu, that name is good. Lu Yimeng muttered. Yes, Mao Qiu, truly fitting. Su Feng agreed. Mao Qiu, welcome home. Yunhan smiled and hugged the little panda. Su Feng pushed open the wooden door back to the camp. Everything was the same as before, nothing changed. Let it get used to the place first. Yunhan crossed the small wooden bridge, put Mao Qiu down. The little panda sniffed and walked around the cabin. Looks like everyone fears you. Yunhan said helplessly. Do not mind them, after a while they will be used to it. Su Feng put down the bamboo basket and said. Will the rabbit be eaten by the little panda? Louis Meng asked with worry. Not for now, the rabbit is still bigger than Mao Qiu. Su Feng teased, Mao Qiu was like a kitten now, needed long time to grow, by then the rabbit would already be gone. That is true. Yunhan was reassured, took the basket to the stream, washed wild vegetables and mushrooms, preparing dinner. It was about 5 in the afternoon, less than 1 hour before dark. Su Feng took out the grapevine, looked at the rabbit and fawn in the storage, then chose to plant the vine beside the cabin. He went to the other side of the stream, dug holes near the fence, planted the grapevine, watered them. After more than half an hour, smoke rose from the chimney. Yunhan was cooking. 2 stoves each had an iron pot, one cooking clam soup, the other stewing meat. Add some honey and vegetable oil. Yunhan said while making salad. Right away. Louis Meng sang softly while working. Su Feng sat on a chair, handling wood, beside him Mao Qiu curled like asleep. He was making a wooden cage, to separate the little panda, in case Godan returned. Chi chi chi. Su Feng was thinking, when Godan's voice came from the window, then it climbed in. It ran to him, stopped, fur bristled, staring at Mao Qiu. Chi chi chi. Godan wagged tail, protesting. Protest invalid, you kept running out. Louis Meng laughed, put the salad on the table. Then she squatted down, asked, "Tell the truth, did you find a girlfriend outside?" Chi. All right, wait until the cage is done, then lock it. Su Feng laughed. Mao Cho stood up, tilted-headed Godan, then happily ran toward. Chi. Godan quickly climbed the beam to escape. Mao Cho stood up and also climbed up, heading to Godan. Chi. Godan shouted, tail first straight up. Come down, Godan. Su Feng stood up quickly, reached the beam. Godan came down sensibly, climbed to his shoulder. Stay here, the cage will be ready soon. Su Feng smiled bitterly, did not expect them to fight at first sight. He picked up a walnut and gave it to Godan. Mao Cho climbed to the beam, dangled its tail. So Mao Cho can climb trees? Lu Yimeng exclaimed. Of course, when escaping predators, they climb to the highest branches. Su Feng recalled the panda's habit. Godan saw Mao Cho no longer chasing, relaxed, and gnawed the walnut. Su Feng, come, dinner is ready. Yun Han's gentle voice came. All right. Su Feng put down wood and axe, scooped water to wash hands, sat at the table. Louis Zhu set bowls and chopsticks, served soup. The wild vegetables are so tender. Su Feng tasted salad. Crispy and delicious. Louis Meng praised. Clatter! At that moment Mao Cho climbed down, ran to the girls, stood upright. Do you also want to eat? Yun Han bent down and asked gently. Chapter 490, Raising It Chubby and White. Squeak. Mao Ka lowered his head to eat, quickly finishing a wild vegetable, then wiped his mouth and face gently with his tiny hands. So adorable, it even wipes its own face. Van Han gently patted Mao Ka's head. Good, eat full then play. So Feng said softly. All right. Van Han laughed brightly and picked up her chopsticks to eat. After half an hour, dinner ended and the four sat together. Mao Ka fell asleep in front of them, snoring lightly. Dog Egg stood on the beam, always watching Mao Ka and refusing to come close. Another half hour later, the wooden cage of 80 centimeters each side was finished. The gaps between timbers were only 2 fingers wide. Done. Van Han carefully held Mao Ka and, while it was still drowsy, locked it into the wooden cage. Mao Ka opened its eyes, looked at them briefly, then slept again. Truly fearless. Lu Waimong laughed angrily. It was the first time she saw a wild animal so bold, locked in a cage yet looking unconcerned. So Phong laughed, carried the cage to a secluded spot, and stored it in the activity space. Chirp. Dog Egg jumped down from the beam, curiously peering at Mao Ka inside. So Phong, will you still go hunting tomorrow? Van Han asked softly. I do not want to become fat. Van Han glanced with a scolding tone. Then will you go with me tomorrow? So Phong poked her cheek. No, I will stay at the camp and do some handcraft. Van Han shook her head. Hunting should be left to So Phong and Lu Waimong, so efficiency will be higher. That is fine. So Phong nodded. Tomorrow must have harvest, or else another rabbit would die. Then, do we want to play mahjong now? Lu Waimong giggled. All right. Van Han quickly brought out the mahjong set and began shuffling. The four played game after game, time passing swiftly. At dawn, the sun was bright, the muddy ground dried, the stream clear again. So Phong rose, wore shoes, and sat before the cage. Tap. Mao Ka scratched the cage with its front paws, as if thinking something. So Phong stood, glanced around, and Dog Egg was nowhere to be seen. Since it is not here, you can come out. He untied the rope and released Mao Ka. Play on your own first. He took his washing kit and went down to the stream, preferring to wash there for fresh air. Thud. The wooden door opened. Mao Ka ran out, agilely down the stairs. It ran a circle then stopped at the upper stream, leaving a pile of green dung and urine. So Phong frowned, remembering pandas had the habit of fixed spots, meaning Mao Caw would relieve itself at the upper stream daily.
So Phong, did you see Mao Caw?
Van Han called worriedly from the stairs.
Hey!
So Phong rinsed his mouth and gestured with his chin toward the back.
Scared me, I thought it vanished.
Van Han rushed down, found Mao Caw, and sighed in relief.
Van Han, I give you a task. So Phong looked at the pile of dung and urine and said. What task? Van Han asked while holding Mao Caw. No problem, it is still young, easy to teach.
Van Han patted her chest confidently.
Let us hope so.
So Phong sighed bitterly, he did not want to see that mess daily.
Rest assured, leave it to me.
Van Han held Mao Caw with confidence and returned inside. So Phong washed up and searched shelves, spending more than 10 minutes gathering herbs, then more than 20 minutes preparing culture liquid. He carried the jar downstairs, poured it into the cauldron at the stream, added water, and made a large batch.
Growth speed should improve.
He muttered, then watered taro, oil beans, and other plants.
So Phong, I will help you. Lu Wai Thursday came with a jar. All right.
So Phong smiled, with her help the liquid was used quickly.
Lu Wai Thursday sniffed her hands curiously. So Phong, what is this liquid? It is herbal pesticide, not edible.
So Phong lied calmly, then washed and returned. Lu Wai Thursday bit her lip, looking at herbs in the cauldron, some recognizable. After thinking, she added water then pushed the
cauldron over, spilling plants into the stream. Sister, breakfast. Lu Wai Mong called. Coming.
Lu Wai Thursday replied, glanced at the drone above, then washed the jar and went upstairs. So Phong, come back early, be careful.
Van Han hugged Mao Caw and waved. Got it. So Phong answered and left. Sister, I am going. Lu Wai Mong hurried after him. Chapter 491, A Woman's Sixth Sense. Let's go outside the territory to take a look.
So Phong tilted his head and smiled.
Okay.
Lu Wai Mong replied softly, but she could not help shrinking her neck, her body instinctively leaning close to So Phong.
Do not be nervous, just follow me closely. So Phong reassured, then took the chopping knife into the forest. Lu Wai Mong gathered courage to follow. Crack, crack.
They stepped on dry branches and leaves, gradually approaching the mango tree.
Come, we climb from here.
So Phong glanced around, pointing west.
I will follow you. Lu Wai Mong nodded. Good. So Phong smiled, swinging the knife to clear vines. This path is really hard.
Lu Wai Mong pushed branches aside, but when released, they snapped back painfully.
Stay behind me.
So Phong pulled her back, breaking the branch, softly saying, if your face got scratched, let's see you cry.
I will not cry.
Lu Wai Mong pouted, but smiled, feeling cared for.
So Phong chuckled, turned to clear the way.
After more than an hour, they stopped, rough path behind. In front was open land, a small rocky hill about 10 meters tall.
Cluck, cluck.
So Fong's ears twitched, he picked up stones.
Did you find something? Lu Wai Mong whispered. Cluck, cluck.
As they neared, they saw a pheasant with chicks scratching soil for worms. So Phong rushed forward, catching the frightened chicks.
Wai Mong, come. So Phong called. Coming. Lu Wai Mong ran excitedly. Pheasant, wonderful. Give me your bamboo basket, to hold them. So Phong ordered. Okay. Lu Wai Mong squatted, emptied the basket. Lined the bottom with hay. So Phong said. She stuffed hay inside. He placed chicks in, tied it tight.
So small, we must raise them.
So Phong smiled bitterly, camp like a zoo. Lu Waimong glanced at the dead hen. You killed their mother. Cough, cough, that sounds like cursing me. So Phong muttered. He. She giggled. The old hideout was good, many animals to hunt. She recalled hunting goats and deer. If nothing else, tomorrow we must try there again. So Phong sighed. One day may not be enough. Lu Waimong whispered. Yes, maybe stay overnight. So Phong nodded. All right. She lowered her head, secretly expecting. Let's go check another place. So Phong packed and carried the basket. Okay. She carefully lifted it, asking, where to? Climb up, see around, then decide. So Phong looked at the hill. Then go. She eagerly climbed. Careful, watch your step. NK books. So Phong warned. Got it. She replied, gripping bushes. Ah, So Phong. She pointed ahead. Is that not our usual hill? Yes. He nodded. The path looks tough. She sighed. Let's go, there will be gain. He said suddenly. Where? She asked curiously. He pointed, opposite her view. Why think there is gain? She questioned. Instinct. He smiled. In fact, he judged by terrain and plants. Instinct? Why not call it sixth sense? She frowned. Ha ha ha, sixth sense is you women's instinct. He laughed. 10 minutes later, they reached ground safely. Indeed, many herbivores here. He saw grass nod. Likely deer, but what kind, we must see. He noted faint footprints. Great, then let's search quickly. She said happily, stepping forward. Wrong way, tracks are here. He called. Okay. She answered, lowering her foot. At once, she felt weightless, face still surprised. Chapter 492, The Silly Siberian Roe Deer. She stepped down and the ground beneath her collapsed. The spot she had stood was a hidden fissure covered by fallen leaves and dry branches, hard to notice without care. Waimong. So Phong rushed forward, quick eyes and hands grabbing her arm. Ah. Lu Waimong shut her eyes and screamed, body thrashing helplessly. Lu Waimong, stop screaming, my ears will go deaf. So Phong grimaced, leaning over the crack as he pulled at her hand. Ah. She froze, opened her eyes, and realized he was holding her. You scared me to death. Her eyes reddened and she burst into tears. He braced with one hand on the ground, the other hauling her up slowly, then quickly encircled her slim waist and set her safely outside the crack. In the live room, viewers flooded the screen with 666. That scared me so much, why did such a big fissure suddenly appear? This is a type of geological hazard, the fracture has been there long, only hidden by leaves and branches. Lucky So Phong was there, otherwise what if Lu Waimong fell? Such fast reaction, 1 second later would be unbearable. Waimong, are you all right? He asked with concern. I am fine, just my heart racing and my legs weak. She patted her chest nervously. So Phong soothed her gently, rest a bit and you will recover. After resting, she asked, why did a fissure suddenly appear here? It must be a natural geological disaster. He answered gravely, having checked the crack and found it bottomless, even his vision could not reach the end. Geological hazards include many, like landslides, collapses, fissures. What appeared was one such fissure, often linked with quakes or crust movements. Sometimes they appear suddenly, people swallowed before they react. Every year news reports such cases, like a small town split open, cars plunged in, such news is common. The unpredictability makes them troubling. So that is it, without you I would surely be dead. She stood, eyes red, and bowed seriously, thank you, So Phong. He steadied her and smiled, since I brought you out, I must also bring you back, otherwise I cannot explain.
She bit her lip, hugged him, and smiled. Then I owe you a favor. He chuckled silently, turned. Let us go see over there. Okay. She followed quickly, but each step she tested the ground. Do not be so wary, just follow my steps. He smiled wryly. You should be careful too, there may be other fishers hidden under leaves. She warned seriously. Truly once bitten by a snake, 10 years fearing ropes. He sighed. Danger, why always cracks, he wondered. That sounds reasonable. She nodded, now reassured. They walked for over half an hour, the fallen leaves lessened, making her more at ease. So Phong, can you see where the deer are? She asked. He pointed west to a forest path made by animals. He led her along the trail tracking them. By the lake, a herd of roe deer drank. So Phong. She whispered. Shoo, watch me. He grinned, drew his horn bow, and aimed at the fattest roe. Swish! The arrow flew and struck true, piercing the Siberian roe. Ah! The herd scattered into the woods, leaving the wounded one collapsing by the lake. Slow, it cannot escape. He called. So Phong, what kind of deer is this? She squatted, curious. This is a Siberian roe, in the no-antlered deer group. He explained from memory. There are 2 types, east and west, straw yellow, a meter long, with short tails tipped white, males with antlers, females without. So the silly Siberian roe is this one. She looked enlightened. Do you know why it is called silly? He laughed. I do not know. She shook her head with a giggle. Rustle, rustle. He grabbed his bow as the herd returned. Ah, why did they come back? She asked. That is why they are called silly roe. He laughed regretfully. They are very curious, stopping to watch even when chased. A shout can make them halt. Skilled hunters, if missing a shot, would not chase, for soon the roe would come back to see what happened. Truly, curiosity kills the roe. Chapter 493, Leopard. So Phong waited by the lake, but the herd did not return. I did not expect such a big lake to exist on this island. Lu Waimong said in surprise. Earlier it had been hidden by the trees. There are fish inside. So Phong looked down, faintly seeing several large fish swimming. Can we come to fish here later? Her eyes sparkled. Yes, as long as you are not afraid of bears. He smiled. He had seen fresh bear tracks nearby, probably left in the morning. What? You said bears also come here? She exclaimed, eyes scanning nervously. Yes. He nodded. Winter had passed more than half a month, bears needed food. Let us go quickly, we should not stay long. She urged, knowing they could not fight a bear. We should head back, it is getting late. He looked west, the sun was low, only about 2 hours before dark. He handed her the bamboo basket, then carried the Siberian deer on his shoulders. Let us go back the same way. He said. You are so strong. She sighed, carrying 2 baskets behind him. After 1 hour they returned to the rocky slope and faced a large crack. Carrying that, you cannot climb well. She worried. It is fine, give me the rope, I will manage. He untied the deer. Circling around would waste too much time, only climbing was possible. Are you sure? She asked while pulling a rope from the basket. No problem. He tied the deer tightly to prevent it from swinging. You are even faster than me. She muttered, following behind. After half an hour they crossed and entered the forest. Another hour later, near the mango tree, he suddenly stopped. Hurry, this is leopard territory. She tensed. Stay still. He warned, drawing the horn bow, eyes sharp. The sense of danger grew, at first tingling, now sharp. She instinctively hid behind him. He looked into the trees where danger was strongest. Crack! A twig snapped, so faint that only his keen hearing caught it. Be careful.
She whispered. Time passed, 7 or 8 minutes, still nothing. It hides, very cautious. He murmured. Whiz. He released, arrow pierced a bush. Missed. He frowned, no cry, a wasted shot. He fired again in another direction, still nothing. Crack. Another twig snapped, then a leopard leaped out at terrifying speed. As expected, a leopard. He cursed. He shoved her aside and swung the bow. Bang. The bow struck the leopard, throwing it back. Roar. It howled, one foreleg injured, glaring fiercely. Come again. He said coldly. In the monitoring room, No Tin Noyet clenched fists, face full of worry. He should be fine, he has a bow and a knife. Hamin said, but his heart was uneasy. I think we should send rescue now. She insisted. Wait, rescue cannot arrive in time. Van Lam frowned, outwardly calm but inwardly tense. He had survived the wild but never faced such danger. But still. She muttered, worried, though they had known only 10 days she already saw him as a friend. On the screen he gripped the bow and strode toward the leopard. Is he insane? Hamin gasped. Normally people would run, yet he charged forward. Lu Waimong froze in fear. She searched for the knife in the basket but found none. Keep it for yourself. He replied without turning, rushing at the leopard with the bow. Roar. The beast flinched at his aura, stepping back but refusing to retreat. Afraid? He sneered, power erupted, he stomped and shot forward, speed and strength terrifying. Chapter 494, Barehanded Against the Leopard. You want to die, just right for me to test my fighting skill. Su Feng muttered softly, pushing the goat horn bow aside. He stared intently at the leopard's movements, and maybe it was an illusion, but in his eyes they seemed slower. Without thinking, he dodged the claw, then grabbed the beast's front leg. You must die. His lips curled, bursting with immense strength. Under the gaze of Lu Waimang and the observers, the leopard was slammed hard onto the ground. Roar, roar, roar. The leopard could only scream once before being lifted again and smashed down on the other side. From then on it was a one-sided beating, blood pouring from its mouth and nose. Even among flying bullets, the moment seemed to freeze, then burst again with crimson streaks like blood scattering in the rain. Damn, only these 2 words can describe how I feel now. Is this even human? He crushed a leopard barehanded. Leopard, who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? Damn, it was instant kill. Terrifying, compared to him, Su Feng is the real beast. Lu Waimang was stunned, covering her red lips, black pearl eyes full of disbelief. Am I dreaming? She murmured blankly. Huff huff. Su Feng panted, dragging the lifeless leopard, then threw it aside like a dead dog. Waimang, are you all right? He squatted before her, waving his hand. I am fine, are you hurt? She quickly grabbed his hand, nervously checking him. I am fine, really. Su Feng smiled lightly. You almost scared me to death. Lu Waimeng's body weakened, sitting on the ground. She felt her heart might fail one day, since going through 2 such shocks in a single day would make anyone doubt life. Meanwhile in the observation room, the group still had not recovered. What just happened? Ing Wu Ting, you muttered. Did I see wrong? Humming was still confused, everything happened so fast. Wang Lin pinched his thigh, the pain reminding him it was real. Tai Bai Ding bit her lip, her heart shaken. She knew she could never do what Su Feng did. Su Feng is really violent. Ing Wu Ting, you finally found a word to describe him. Now I only pity his future rivals. She laughed nervously, barehanded against a leopard. How many could do that? Tomorrow it will be the headline. Humming sighed, surely the video was already spreading online. It is getting dark, let us go back. Su Feng said gently. All right.
Lu Meng grasped his hand, standing up. She glanced at the leopard and asked, "What about this? Bring it back." "Of course, cannot waste it." Su Feng carried the corpse on his shoulder. "You look just like a butcher." Lu Meng tilted her chin and commented, then packed up their things. "Hurry, or the girls will worry." Su Feng strode toward the camp, carrying both the leopard and the Siberian deer. The sky had turned dim, night was close. Returning like this, they will be even more worried. Lu Meng chased after him. "Next time maybe you should not go out." She giggled. "You laugh at my pain?" Su Feng chuckled angrily. "No, I just worry for you." Lu Meng replied firmly. "Fine, let us return, what must come will come." Su Feng sighed. "Yes." She kept quiet, walking quickly to catch up. In the wooden house, the girl and Lu Thursday sat by the window, staring anxiously at the dark. "Why are they still not back?" Van Han worried. "Wait a little, do not worry." Lu Thursday squeezed her hand, though her own heart was uneasy. "Should we go search for them?" Van Han suggested. "Yes, let us go." Lu Thursday nodded. "I will take torches." Van Han hurried to light 2 torches in the kitchen. Step, step, step. They opened the gate, closed it again, then entered the forest with torches. "Sister Thursday, are you scared?" Van Han held the torch high. "A little." Lu Thursday admitted, darkness everywhere, only firelight around, and knowing leopards existed here, it was frightening. "Do not fear, I will protect you." Van Han tried to sound brave. "Whom do you want to protect?" A voice came from the dark. Step, step, step. "Can you not even recognize my voice?" "Ah, ghost!" Van Han screamed, her cry echoing through the forest. "Su Feng, why did you scare us like that?" Lu Thursday shouted, realizing it was him. Chapter 495, Concealing Flaws While Showing Strength. "Looking at you like this, you do not seem fine." Lu Thursday frowned gently, voice full of concern. "Sister, why did you not care about me first?" Lu Meng pursed her lips and cried out. "Compared to So Feng, you really do not look like someone in trouble." Lu Thursday said coolly. Seeing her younger sister choke on words, she softened her tone. "I was joking, you are not hurt, right?" "I will tell you later, I was almost scared to death." Lu Meng rolled her eyes. "So Feng?" Van Han cried out, her eyes turning red, trembling voice asking, "Why are you covered in blood? Where are you hurt?" "Let me see." Tears streamed down as she hurried forward, her small hands trembling as they touched his body, fearing to press on a wound. "Do not cry, I am fine, this blood is not mine." So Feng comforted softly, her weeping face pained him. "Van Han, So Feng is really fine, do not worry." Lu Meng said quickly. "Let me check." Van Han choked, touching his face, then raising his hands to check carefully. Only after a long moment did she confirm he was unharmed, her fear fading. "I did not lie to you." So Feng smiled. "You can still laugh." Van Han said angrily with red eyes. "Let us go back and talk, it is pitch dark outside, frightening." Lu Meng chuckled, easing the mood. "Yes, everyone must be hungry, I will make dinner." Van Han glanced at So Feng's bloody shoulder, wanting to ask but stopping. "I will tell you later." So Feng said gently, raising his hand to pat her head, but stopped when he saw the blood on his palm. "So Feng, go wash quickly, you look scary like this." Lu Meng shrank her neck and said, "All right." So Phong gave a wry smile, realizing he should not act so violently again. He stripped off his shirt and pants, leaving only his underwear, and walked to the nearby stream. "Really, not even covering yourself?" Van Han blushed and scolded softly, tidied his clothes, and controlled the drone overhead. She carried his dirty clothes, then returned with clean ones and a towel.
So Phong, I left clothes and a towel here.
Van Han said nervously, placing them on a rock by the stream, then turned away.
All right.
His voice came.
Do not wash too long, the water is cold, I will make dinner. Van Han reminded tenderly. I know.
He replied gently.
Is this a leopard? Why does it look like this?
Lu Wai Thursday crouched by the corpse, seeing its body flattened as if pressed by something heavy.
It was So Phong, you were not there, I saw it, he was terrifyingly strong.
Lu Wai Mong excitedly recounted, her gestures exaggerated.
Lu Wai Thursday listened quietly, hearing through the messy words how dangerous it had been.
Sister, he grabbed its front leg and slammed it.
Lu Wai Mong gestured vividly. Impossible. Lu Wai Thursday was shocked, slamming a leopard? It sounded like a movie scene.
It is true, when you cut it open you will see, the organs must be crushed.
Lu Wai Mong sighed, picturing the scene. Enough, let us help Van Han cook. Lu Wai Thursday stood and walked inside. Splash.
So Phong returned from the stream, dried himself, dressed in clean clothes, and walked upstairs. In the wooden house, the three girls were busy by the stove, one tending the fire, two watching pots, one stewing meat, one making soup.
So Phong, sit down, food will be ready soon. Van Han turned and smiled gently. All right.
He pressed his lips and sat.
Mao Ka trotted over, sniffing him. Maybe that leopard killed your parents, so this is revenge for you.
So Phong said softly, stroking Mao Ka's head.
Remembering something, he asked, what about the wild chicken? In the pot, for soup.
Van Han replied, the bird cut into 8 pieces boiling.
And the chick? He asked again. In the wooden cage, otherwise Mao Ka would eat it. She pointed at the cage by the wall.
The cage once held Mao Ka, now used for the chicken, since Ka Dan was gone.
Leave it for now, tomorrow. I will build a coop. He nodded. Lu Wai Thursday set the table. Smells so good, I am starving.
Lu Wai Mong sat quickly, her stomach growling.
Then eat. Van Han said tenderly, serving chicken soup. So tasty. Lu Wai Mong drank eagerly, feeling relieved. Cough, cough, the matter is like this.
So Phong put down his bowl and spoke lightly. Yet the girl still clutched her clothes, palms sweaty, knowing it was not as easy as he claimed, for he always concealed hardship while showing strength.
Chapter 496, The Missing Woodcutter's Knife. Do not frown like that, let me see a smile.
So Phong smiled gently, lifting the girl's chin. So Phong is teasing a proper lady again.
Lu Wai Mong giggled playfully. The four could not help but laugh, the atmosphere became lively. After half an hour, they finished dinner and sat to rest. Wai Mong, help me wash the dishes. Lu Wai Thursday stood up, winking at her sister. All right. Lu Wai Mong quickly carried the dishes down. The girl watched the sisters leave, her smile faded, then she turned to So Phong. So Phong, maybe we should leave.
Van Han bit her lip, lifting her eyes to meet his.
Because of what happened today. So Phong turned, holding her hand. I do not want you to be in danger. Van Han said sincerely. It is fine, even the leopard could not beat me.
So Phong stroked her hand to comfort her.
But Van Han hesitated.
Trust me, I swear I will always return safe from the hunt. So Phong raised 3 fingers.
My promise works. He spoke earnestly. Van Han touched his forehead. I do not have a fever. So Phong chuckled. So Phong, are you too fine?
Lu Wai Mong called from outside.
What? So Phong was confused. Then I will come in.
Lu Wai Mong pushed the wooden door, saw them only sitting, and entered.
She placed the bowls on the shelf, then asked, So Phong, where is the woodcutter's knife? I could not find it. The knife? Did I not put it in the bamboo basket? So Phong was surprised, recalling that after cutting vines and branches, he placed it there. No, I could not see it. Lu Waimong felt uneasy and emptied the basket. Search carefully. So Phong frowned. There were few items, clearly no knife. Truly not here. Lu Waimong lowered her head. It must have fallen in the forest. So Phong sighed. It was gone. What now? Van Han worried. The knife was crucial for firewood in game. Though they had a military knife, it was not as handy. We must try to find it tomorrow. So Phong replied. All right. He nodded. Did it fall when you saved me, into the crack? Lu Waimong guessed. Possible. So Phong nodded. Hope we find it tomorrow, or it is a pity. Lu Waimong sighed. We will know tomorrow. So Phong accepted its loss. Well, I will handle the Siberian deer and leopard. Lu Waimong cleaned up, then took a knife to the kitchen. So Phong stood by the stairs, watching the three women by the stream. Lu Waimong, stronger, skinned and cut, the girl washed meat. Lu Wai Thursday kept the fire, hung the meat with salt to smoke. No need. The three spoke together, then laughed. So Phong smiled, then Mao Ka came out, waddling toward them. Want meat? Lu Waimong teased. Gay-o-o. Mao Ka cried like a child, circling the deer. Gay-o-o. It caught meat and happily climbed up. So cute. After the contest, can we keep it? Van Han clutched her heart. I could never give it up. She whispered. Time passed. After 2 hours, all meat was smoked, blood dripped into the fire hissing. All right, I will watch, you go bathe. So Phong brought a chair to sit by the fire. The blood smell is strong. Van Han wrinkled her nose. The three went upstairs. Soon water splashed in the bath. So Phong added wood, gazing at the starry sky, thankful for clear weather. After half an hour, Van Han brought honey water, softly saying, Drink some honey water. Not resting yet? She asked after he drank. Sleep first, the meat needs more smoke. So Phong answered gently. Then I stay with you. Van Han brought a chair and sat beside him. Not tired? So Phong pinched her cheek. I am fine. Van Han whispered, resting her head on his shoulder. Soon, steady breaths came. He turned, seeing her asleep, long lashes trembling, eyes moving. She was dreaming. Truly, stubborn yet adorable. So Phong smiled quietly, tending the fire to drive away the night chill. Chapter 497, Carrying Poop. At dawn, birds sang all around the forest. Inside the wooden hut, Van Han rubbed her mouth by instinct, then slowly opened her eyes. No. The girl woke sluggishly, climbed out of bed, and glanced shyly at So Phong, whose shirt front was wet with drool. Why am I drooling again? She muttered, carefully stepped down, put on her shoes, and went to wash up, her spirit brightening. Gay-o-o. Mao Ka crawled out from under the bed, short legs padding around the door. Oh no, I need the toilet. Van Han said softly, hugging Mao Ka and walking inside. Once she put him down, Mao Ka rushed out again, still
NK
pacing
books.
at the door. Really, come back here. Van Han frowned, caught him, and this time locked him in, planning to let him out only after he finished. She brushed her teeth, washed up, and after more than 10 minutes, returned. Time to fetch water. She rolled up her sleeves, went outside to the pulley by the steps, and lowered the bucket into the stream. Soon the wooden bucket tilted, filling with water. Heck hew! She strained with both hands, pulling the rope, slowly lifting the bucket. After 10 minutes of work, the cauldron in the hut was filled again. Ah, good morning, Van Han. Lu Waimong got up, yawning in greeting. Toilet first. She muttered, pushed the wooden door, and stepped in. A moment later, a shriek came. Ah! Mong's sister, what happened?
Van Han rushed over.
I stepped on Mao Ca's poop.
Lu Waimong grimaced, lifting her shoe smeared with green mess.
Ha 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 ha.
The scream woke So Phong, who tried not to laugh but failed. Van Han covered her mouth, shoulders shaking with suppressed laughter.
Ngo.
Mao Ca barked, then dashed out, tumbling into the yard to play with the rabbit.
Mao Ca, stop, I must teach you. Lu Waimong shouted.
He is still small, does not understand.
Van Han smiled, holding her arm.
I never thought a bright day would start with stepping on green poop.
Lu Waimong pouted.
Hee, I will fetch water for you to wash.
Van Han giggled, running to take a clay pot.
No need, I will wash at the stream. Lu Waimong called, hopping out, down the steps, rolling up her pants, washing carefully.
Minutes later she returned.
Mong's sister wore this new pair of straw shoes. Van Han came down carrying them. The old pair, though washable, no one would want.
All right.
Lu Waimong dried her feet and slipped them on, feeling relief.
Ca Dan, stop running.
She rushed toward the pup, looking fierce.
Ngo.
Ca Dan thought she wanted to play, running happily around.
Van Han laughed and went inside to cook.
They still needed to find the wood axe. Over an hour later, the four finished breakfast, shut the gate, and went into the forest.
So Phong, could there be leopards here? Lu Waimong asked nervously.
Hard to say, after the spotted leopard died, another beast may claim it.
So Phong replied.
Then we must be careful.
Van Han said, shrinking her neck.
Yes.
Lu Waimong nodded.
They searched the ground as they walked, hoping to find the axe.
Yesterday we met the leopard right here. Van Han said.
The ground bore heavy tracks, blood still staining leaves.
Yes. So Phong nodded.
Not here, maybe it fell near the rock. Lu Waimong looked around, still no sign.
Then let us go on. So Phong sighed.
Check the bushes, beware snakes.
He warned, bending to search.
Got it. The three girls answered, spreading out.
After half an hour, still no axe.
Let us try the other side.
So Phong said. Do we need to go around?
Lu Waimong asked. Yes, it is still early, we can circle over. So Phong said calmly. This way, it will not take long.
He recalled the terrain and pointed.
Sure enough, after half an hour, they reached a large ravine.
All right. Van Han and Lu Wai Thursday answered, squatting to search. So Phong, could it be down below? Lu Waimong asked nervously, peering into the dark crack. Chapter 498, Wilderness Iron Forging.
More than half an hour passed, every fallen leaf around had been flipped, yet the hatchet was still missing.
It seems it really fell into a crack. Lu Yiming felt embarrassed. If she had been more careful, would this trouble not have happened? Do not jump to conclusions, we must check by the lake. So Hu said while walking. Lu Yiming felt touched. Was this his way of comforting her?
The four retraced yesterday's path, checking every bush, and finally reached the large lake, but still found nothing.
It is truly gone. So Hu sighed.
The lake shore was wide and clear. If the hatchet was here, it would not be invisible. The leopards were not here today, the surroundings were quiet, only animal tracks on the ground.
Yunhan sighed and asked, So, without the hatchet what should we do? We can only make a few new ones.
He waved his hand lightly. Yes, though troublesome, it is not impossible.
He smiled.
But how? We have no iron.
Yunhan frowned. Would they melt the army shovel?
I have a way, though troublesome.
He said mysteriously. Always acting mysterious.
Yunhan rolled her eyes, yet if he said so, it must be true.
Fine, let us go back, you will know tonight.
He smiled gently. All right. The three girls answered and they returned. Around 4 in the afternoon, they reached the camp safely. Soho, tell us how to make the hatchet, without iron how? Lu Yiming asked urgently. Without iron, we must forge it first. He grinned. Ah. The three girls froze, forging iron sounded too simple. Even the observers were shocked. Forge iron in the wild, is that possible? Ha Min exclaimed. Soho does not joke, he must have a method. Wu Tingyue said softly, pondering. But iron needs ore first. Ha Min frowned. Even with ore, how forge it, with wood fire? Wang Lin asked coldly. Wood fire reaches only 700 degrees, iron needs 1500. Wang Lin explained calmly, such heat was impossible here without special tools. So how will Soha do it? Wu Tingyue was doubtful, 1500 was too high. Let us wait and see. Wang Lin replied. Soha, you are not joking, forge iron, with a furnace? Lu Yiming asked again. Yes and no, you will see, first we must gather iron sand. He whispered. Iron sand, what is that? Louis Zhu asked curiously. Iron sand is iron or dust. He explained. Or dust, so we must search or? Yunhan grew confused. Iron sand is easy, a magnet solves it. He said calmly. Who said we have none? He smiled, going under the cabin, and pulled out the natural magnet. He tossed it and laughed, here it is. This is a magnet? The three girls asked surprised. Try it. Yunhan tested with a knife, instantly it stuck. Of course, to attract iron sand. He smashed the magnet with a stone, breaking it into pieces. One each, go to the stream. He shared them. What do we do? Louis Zhu asked. Simple. He dipped it in sand, lifted it, and many black grains clung. That is iron sand, easy. He smiled. Let me try. Lu Yiming rolled up sleeves, went down, and soon lifted a magnet full of grains. Louis Zhu and the other girl rushed down too. Soon they returned with a clay jar, scraping the grains off. So little each time, how many needed for one hatchet? Lu Yiming shook the jar. A whole jar, impurities shrink much after burning. He said. My God, when will it be full? She gasped. Slowly, do not rush. He soothed. Only this way. She stretched then went back to work. Time passed, the sun set, darkness fell. Ai, my waist aches. Lu Yiming stood twisting with a sharp sound. Chapter 499, The Blast Furnace. All right. The three girls answered in unison. The clay pot held only a few iron grains, just enough to cover the bottom, and at this rate it would take days to fill it. I will cook dinner. Van Han withdrew her hand from the magnet, shook off the water, and went upstairs. So Phong, where do these iron grains come from? Lu Waimong asked curiously. They must have flowed from upstream, after heavy rains there will be more. So Phong replied softly. Then I really wish for a downpour now. Lu Waimong looked up at the sky with a sigh. I hope so too. So Phong said calmly, though the forecast showed tomorrow would be sunny. I will help cook, I am starving. Lu Waimong dropped the magnet and ran upstairs. Time flowed by, for 5 days they kept collecting iron grains from the stream, filling the clay pot to 8 parts full. Birds chirped cheerfully in the forest on the morning of the 6th day. Ah ah. So Phong smirked as he opened his eyes, the girl who had lain beside him was gone. He glanced toward the stove, fire was burning, but no sign of her. She must have gone to wash. He rose, put on shoes, and checked the rack, her washing set was gone. He grabbed his brush and towel, heading out while thinking, market. A virtual screen flashed before him, the number 25 lit up, meaning 113 days had passed in the wild. Creak. He pushed open the wooden door, looked at the stream, and saw the girl brushing her teeth with one hand, searching underwater with the other. Noticing him, Van Han stood, raised the magnet, and greeted with a smile, "So Phong, good morning." "Good morning." He walked closer, spoke gently, "The water is cold, come up, do not push yourself too hard." He pinched her cheek, half amused, half stern, "Your cycle just ended, be careful." "I know." Van Han answered innocently, her cycle had been on time and had just ended yesterday. She rinsed, washed her face, wrung the towel dry, and smiled, "I will go make breakfast." Humming softly, she went upstairs in a good mood. Soon, the Lu sisters also came down, their hair messy like bird nests. "Good morning." Lu Wai Mong greeted. "Good morning, your hairstyle is unique." So Phong teased. "Yes, unique indeed." Lu Wai Mong retorted and sat to brush her teeth. Half an hour later, the four sat around the wooden table for breakfast. "So Phong, after another half day of work, we should have enough iron grains, right?" Lu Wai Mong asked. With food in her mouth, Van Han mumbled, "So what do we do next?" "All right." The three girls answered together. The weather on Xian Noyet Island was clear and sunny. So Phong dug clay, piling it by the stream on a 2-meter square cement base he had prepared earlier to keep it dry. It must be solid. He sat down, molding clay into a blast furnace. He built up layers of clay into a circle, each layer thick, leaving a dome opening at the bottom and 4 holes around for airflow. After more than 2 hours, he finished a tall furnace, nearly 1 meter in diameter, more than 2 meters high, narrowing at the top like a chimney. Inside, 2 levels, the lower for firewood, the upper for iron grains, with small holes for airflow. Next is the blower. He smiled, knowing it would be hard. He returned to the cabin, fetched a fur coat to make a fan, since he no longer needed it. Winter had passed, by the next one the contest would be long over. He went down, cut thick bamboo into segments to make pipes. Better let Van Han handle the sewing. He muttered, planning to leave it for night. Then he fetched thicker bamboo, hollowed it, carefully fitted them into the furnace holes, sealing with clay. "We need more wood." He checked the stock, it was not enough. With rope and shovel, he entered the forest to chop trees. Each chop worried him that the shovel might snap. "We really need an axe." He gritted his teeth, then flipped the shovel, using the serrated edge to saw logs, safer than striking with the blade. Soon the stock was full, enough for smelting, even for half a month. Without worrying about rain. Chapter 500, Arms Will Break. "Wow, so many logs." Lu Yiming exclaimed. "Is this an iron furnace, so tall?" Yun Han was also amazed, circling it twice. "Hard work." Sua Fong put down the hay he had gathered. After chopping logs he collected hay too. "It is nothing, compared to your chopping today it is not much." Lu Yiming waved her hand. "How is the iron ore collected?" Sua Fong asked with a smile. "Ha, a whole clay jar." Yun Han laughed, lifting the covered jar, inside full of iron ore. "Enough to use." Sua Fong nodded in satisfaction. Louis Zhu squatted, touched the bamboo tube at the furnace base and asked, "Sua Fong, what are these bamboo tubes for?" "They are for air flow in the furnace." Sua Fong explained. "Air flow." Louis Zhu was puzzled. "Yes, smelting needs very high heat, up to 1,500 degrees, while wood can only reach 700 degrees. Sua Fong sighed. "Such high heat, can it be reached?" Lu Yiming asked in surprise. In the city, hiring furnace workers would not be so troublesome, but here in the wild, only primitive ways could be used. "Bellows are simple, we can finish tonight, but I need your help." Sua Fong smiled, resting his hand on the girl's shoulder. "All right." Yun Han smiled brightly. She put the clay jar of ore into his hand and said, "Then I will go prepare dinner." Suafeng poured the ore onto banana leaves to dry in the sun.
Suafeng, are we smelting tonight?
Lu Yiming asked eagerly.
Tomorrow, the furnace is not dry yet.
Suafeng replied.
Bellows mean it must keep moving, right?
Luizhu asked softly. Yes, it must move constantly, cannot stop, or the heat will fall.
Suafeng clapped calmly. Constantly, how long?
Luizhu sensed trouble but asked.
Not long, only several hours.
Suafeng said lightly. Several hours, 3, 4 hours. Luizhu raised her voice, pulling the bellows. That long, could it last?
Well, actually a whole day.
Suafeng corrected. Luizhu twitched her mouth, so in his eyes a whole day was just several hours. She smiled bitterly. I fear my arms will break.
No choice, for now only this way.
Suafeng said helplessly.
Hope I can endure.
Luizhu looked at her thin arms.
Night fell. After dinner they sat together.
On the table were 4 bamboo tubes and 4 hides.
Suafeng, you mean bellows made of hides?
Yun Han asked.
Hides can be bellows.
Luizhu was curious.
How to make them?
Lu Yimeng frowned suspiciously. Very simple, so into a big bag, fix one end with bamboo, the sides with wood sticks. Suafeng explained.
Let me try.
Yun Han said gently, taking needle and thread to try. She split the hide, sewed one end, put bamboo in the other, tied with thread.
Like this.
Yun Han cut the thread and gave it to Suafeng.
Yes, like this, now add sticks on the sides.
Suafeng nodded.
All right.
Yun Han sewed again, after 10 minutes fixed 2 with sticks. She cut the thread, smiling, done.
Let me try.
Suafeng took it, pressed and released, air pushed through bamboo.
Hoo-hoo.
Strong wind. Yun Han's eyes lit up, she quickly tied her hair.
I want to try.
Lu Yimeng said curiously.
Here. Suafeng handed it.
Hee, fun. Lu Yimeng pointed it at her sister, opening and closing for wind. She brushed her hair, annoyed. Stop, the wind makes my eyes close.
Hee, just a little more.
Lu Yimeng laughed, moving faster, wind stronger. After a while she rubbed her head aggrievedly, sat down and used the needle to help make the other 3. Luizhu also helped. The 3 girls quickly finished them.
Good, tomorrow use your own.
Suafeng said smiling.
No problem. Lu Yimeng made an okay gesture, happily playing with hers.
Suafeng smiled, hoping tomorrow she still had such spirit.
Time passed. After finishing bellows they played mahjong, finally went to wash. Night deepened. After washing 4 lay on the big bed. Good night.
Lu Yimeng said softly.
Good night. Yun Han replied.
The girl turned, hugged Suafeng's waist, and soon fell asleep.